We've heard the news in France, but to hear the liberal media cover this, we only know for sure that it's terrorism. We know for sure that it's domestic terrorism. So I was talking to George and Bill before. I guess we have Buddha terrorism over there, or we aren't able to put a exact name on this kind of terrorism. It is Buddhism. Maybe some other form of religious terrorism over there, but we can't just put our finger on the Islamicity of it. I just created a word. They are so afraid of Islam to actually tag this with Islamic terror. Some of the folks remember a couple weeks ago I was in New Hampshire. I shared a flight back, my grandchildren in New Hampshire. David Gregory had just got fired from NBC News because he was talking too much about his Judaism faith he had rediscovered. And I got to share a plane with him in a concourse. And he got to be annoyed by me. But he actually shared some conversation, and I got to tell him who I was and what my passion was. And I told him I hope that he landed firmly and found a job. And, but I told him that, I said, can you, wherever you land, can you help us to, because I talked to him about me worrying about the Trojan horse of the people coming from Syria. And he was agreeing with most everything I was talking about up until that point, the word Trojan horse. He says, oh, he had his son there, he had his wife with him. He says, I don't know that I can agree with you on that. But I'm wondering now, with what happened in France, what David Gregory thinks about that Trojan horse. I wonder if he has a hard time placing his finger on the origination of that terrorism there. It's not a lone wolf. They couldn't say lone wolf because it happened in 4 different places. So they couldn't use the lone wolf thing. They did say domestic though. And they did not use Islamic. And see, we have to build that wall of understanding. It's not a wall of separation, but it certainly is not a wall of inclusion when it means including our enemy. And we just have to recognize this. I'm not saying that moderate Muslims are our enemy. I'm saying that this country is strong enough to absorb moderate Muslims into the fabric of this country. We can. I agree with Ben Carson. You cannot have a president who believes in Sharia law. And if you are a Muslim who believes in Sharia law, you are excluded from our presidency and should be, Keith Ellison, excluded from our Congress. A wall of understanding, which is a good wall for separation. I don't want my enemies to be included in my household. Just listen to Mark Levin. Give me a minute. And